All right, it's time for the moment we all have been waiting for. I promised that last year. December was extremely hectic, so I was not able to finish this video up. I did not want to rush it. My first thought was, let's make it scripted. Let's make like a big video out of it. Make it like really fast-paced and scripted and stuff. But while working on it, I realized that's not really me. I just want to show my face to you guys and talk about stuff with you instead of, I don't know, making scripted, created content. At least right now. I just don't feel comfortable with that yet. So I decided to just make it as always. I will just record myself talking about this topic. And yeah, let's start with this. Let's start with my top 10 albums of 2023. Important, it's bass music albums. There were more electronic albums that I listened to that I really liked, but I wanted to focus on bass music, even though there is some stuff to discuss, I guess. What's really important is, if you're an artist and you see this and you released an album this year and you are not on this list, it doesn't mean your album is bad or anything. There definitely has been some letdowns and stuff, and I might do a video for my Patreons about my biggest disappointment of an album this year. It's gonna be quite interesting, I guess. So make sure to check the Patreon and feel free to support me. Because of you guys on Patreon, I'm able to do this YouTube channel thing. And yeah, it would be dope to continue doing that because I kind of love it and this community is growing like crazy and you guys are fantastic. If you are on this list though, and if you are one of the lower places, it doesn't mean your album is bad. It's the opposite. This is like my top 10 of the year of all the stuff I listen to when it comes to bass music albums. And if you are on this list, that means that I fucking love this album. So I'm only talking about stuff that I really enjoyed, that I really love. And I will explain why they are not higher on the list. So I would say let's start right away with the first album. The first album is actually from someone I know for a long time already. He supported me right from the beginning and he supported the Code Pandora project right from the beginning. And it's actually Kawaihi with his Rise of the Demigod album. I gotta say, lately I was never really big into his music, just because I grew a bit out of listening to dubstep frequently. That kinda came back over the last year, I think, because I just moved a bit away from it and just took my time to get back into it. And then Rise of the Demigod got released, and I listened to this album and I was like, holy shit, that's like Kawaihi 2.0. That's like the most brutal version of Kawaihi. I know that he always loves like the really heavy dubstep stuff, and it feels like this is the first time he was able to do it, but with keeping the Kawaihi sound. And I love it. It sounds so good. It sounds so fleshed out. Especially the solo songs sound like really just one person that has a vision that wants to do this kind of sound, and he does it and he nails it, and every song is a freaking banger. I got every solo song saved as my favorites on Spotify, and it's rare that I save dubstep in my favorite songs because of the reason I said earlier. So every single song of this, every single solo song, and there's a reason why I point that out that much, is in my favorite songs on Spotify now. And I listen to it like every now and then again. This is fantastic. This is the Kawaihi I need. That's the Kawaihi sound that I love. And it just feels like he finally found a way to incorporate that sound in his music while keeping his own style and while telling little stories. Like it has a decent storytelling, it has a decent vibe. Every solo song just hits. Why is it not higher in this list though? Mainly because of the features on it. Every feature artist is a really good producer and a really good artist. But the thing is that I feel like every collaboration on this album sounds worse than the solo songs. Especially the mixdown is always not there. I don't know. It is not 100% there, and I think this album would have been better as a full solo album, just with straight up storytelling, just solo songs, maybe 2 solo songs more, and then you get like a 10 out of 10 dubstep album, like heavy dubstep album in my opinion. But with the collabs, it does not feel like a full album to me that I enjoy. It's only the solo songs that I save, that I listen to all the time, which feels more like an EP, and that's why it's that low on the list. But as I said, Number 10 on this list is pretty high already because I listen to a lot of music, and I listen to a lot of music on my Twitch streams. So if you didn't check it out yet, we are streaming on Twitch 2 times a week. Every Tuesday and every Friday. Friday is feedback streams, and Tuesday we listen to new music. So you might want to check that out as well. Let's talk about number 9. And number 9 is an album that I did not check on stream. It's the only album here I did not check on stream, actually. Yes. And that's an album I didn't think it would be that good, honestly. And it's Somewhere We Belong from Bur Oak. Damn. What a journey. 1 or 2 months ago, I started to listen to it, and I was blown away. I was blown away by the storytelling. I was blown away by the freaking content. Like, it's so many songs, and every song is like over 3 minutes long, which is fantastic. It just feels like a full album. It feels like a full album. It's extremely complex, incredible sound design, incredible production value. It hits the right spot, and it just works as a full product, in my opinion. And it definitely shows me why Bur Oak is popping up like that. They are playing shows like everywhere. They are just doing a really big buzz in the drum and bass scene right now. Big ups on Somewhere We Belong. That's how you make a freaking debut album. Not gonna lie. I can't wait for more Bur Oak, and I can't wait to listen to more stuff. Why is it that low on the list, though? It's pretty simple. I did not have the time to listen more to it. I did not have the time to really dive into it like more often and more frequent. Just because it was, as I said, a month or 2 ago that I listened to it the first time. I don't have too much time to listen to music in my free time, so mainly it's just listening on the stream, and if there's something that keeps my attention, I save it in my faves and then I listen on flights and stuff. When I fly to shows or when I drive to shows and stuff. But it did not happen that many times with this album, and that's why I can't put it higher yet. It might climb higher, honestly. It might climb higher in the next few weeks because everything about this is so good. It's such a good take on modern drum and bass Neurofunk, and I really enjoy it. Big ups Bur Oak. Next up, we are talking about the first album that... I don't want to say it. People will hate me. That was kinda a letdown, but still it was good enough to make it to this list. And that's Antagonist from Apashe. This album is phenomenal. The songwriting on this album is phenomenal. The feature guests are phenomenal. The singles that got released are phenomenal. Everything on paper on this album sounds like an absolute banger. It's the follow-up of Renaissance, which was probably my favorite album that year. I listened to that album so much, and it was just an absolute banger. But something about this album feels a bit weird. I think sometimes it kind of feels a bit rushed. Sometimes it feels a bit like, okay, it was maybe only able to make the final mix on headphones or something, I don't know, but there is some stuff in this that does not feel as flashed out as Renaissance. With the same production quality as Renaissance, this would be way higher on this list, but just because the production quality kinda went down a bit, it might be because he was rushing a bit, he wanted to follow up to his first epitome of an album, and then he just had to make this follow-up in time and everything. Maybe that's the reason why it does not sound as flashed out as the last one. Or maybe he just liked it like that. It can be a possibility, but to me it just felt a bit rushed. But what I have to say is, all the songs that I really enjoyed, like Gasoline for example, all these songs are stuck in my head. Like, there are some songs that I listen to so many times that it's probably overshadowing most albums on this list, because these single songs for themselves are freaking insane and so well crafted. The vocals are amazing. The music videos, oh my god, the music videos. It's so rare to have artists that put that much effort in music videos, and Apashe is one of them. Yeah, John, I love you, man. Honestly, this album again was fantastic, and it's really only this me being extremely nitpicky when it comes to production quality that there's this little thing that makes it fall apart a bit for me, even though everything else is so good, especially the songwriting. Damn. And the experimentation with genres, and I could keep going. A lot of the album is really good. really well done. And it feels like the next step of Apashe, yes, but I hope that he will maybe take a year longer for the next album to really put something on top of it, you know? Just put another level on it. That would be so dope. I want to hear the final evolution of Apache, actually. It would be freaking cool. Next up, we gonna talk about an album, and I can hear it already. I can see the comments. Oh, why is it not number one? It's Skrillex with Quest for Fire. Damn, this album is good. We can't deny that it did a lot for the bass music industry. Like, so many people right now are copying Quest for Fire and copying the styles and the statics of Quest for Fire. It's stupid. It's the same all the time. Skrillex releases something bigger and people are like, huh, can I maybe copy your homework? It's crazy. It's insane. But for a good reason. The album is crazy. I think Tears with Sleepnet and Joker is probably my favorite bass music song of the entire year. Just talking about a single song. This song ticks every box. It's melancholic. The vocal processing is fresh. It's unique. The flow, the pattern, the bass sounds are fresh. It's something entirely new, even though it sounds familiar. You know what I mean? And that kind of goes through the whole album. And I love that. And the production quality is peak. Like, nothing can get cleaner and more detailed and richer sound-wise than this album, I think. The big problem, though, is that I think 2/3 of the album are just really not for me. I am not the biggest fan of most of the songs, which is just personal taste. There is many songs that just have singers that I can't connect with. They have melodies that I can't connect with. I'm just really more into the darker stuff of electronic music and music in general. So most of this just does not work for me personally, which is completely fine. But quality-wise, also connected with his basement set that he did, this is another level of like bass music and dubstep, if you wanna call it that. Bass music is the better term, I guess, or dance music. It's just something fresh, something unique, and I love that he pulled it off like that. The features are crazy, even though most of them are not my taste. Again, I know it's completely my problem here. But besides that, it's a great album. And as I said, I keep repeating myself, but damn, the production quality. Next up, we come to one of the underdogs of this list, I guess. It's an album I listened to on stream after the artist himself hit me up and was like, dude, my album's coming out then and then. Can you listen to it? And I was like, yeah, let's react on stream to it. It's Anima Drop with The Lost Ones. If you did not check this album, check it out. This is probably the freshest take of breakbeats combined with bass music, combined with just a lot of distortion and clever use of distortion, clever use of samples, incredible melodies, fantastic storytelling. This would be a lot higher in a different year, but this year was so strong with albums that I can't put this higher. But there is no flaw on this album, honestly. There is one or two songs that I did not like that much because they turned into something a bit more melodic. And one little thing I have to say is that it feels a bit repetitive over time. There's a lot of songs, and at the end of the album, it was a bit tiring. But the songs themselves are all greatly crafted, greatly produced. My camera needs to focus properly. And yeah, just big shout out to Anima Drop for this incredible album. Anima Drop, The Lost Ones. Can't say a lot more to this, just check it out. It's definitely worth it. One of the freshest artists that I discovered over the time of my feedback streams. Next up, we gonna talk about an album no one will expect here. I'm pretty confident about that, but damn, this album blew me away. Listening on stream was a blast. I heard some songs live. They are always a blast. I love listening to these songs because they just have a positive vibe. They sound fantastic. The production quality is pretty great, even though sometimes you're like, okay, there is bass now. Where are the other frequencies? But that's fine because somehow it works, and connected in this corset of 60s vocals and stuff like that, 50s, 60s. It's such a great product, in my opinion. A lot of versatility, and some of you might know it already. It's Effin with Cheap Thrills. Damn, this album blew me away. Again, a dubstep album I did not expect to like that much. I just checked it out because people were recommending it on stream. I think one of my graphics designers called Mork, M0RK on Instagram, hit me up and was like, yeah, you have to check it out. I was like, yeah, okay. Because I was never into Effin stuff. I never knew a lot of his music, and everything I knew was like, yeah, okay, it's dubstep, right? And then this album comes, just kicks the door in, and is like, yeah, I got this full fleshed out aesthetic, I got this clean sound structure and red line through everything. I experiment a bit with BPMs and stuff, I experiment with weird distortion, with unique rhythms and patterns, with incredible vocal lines. It's fucking dope. What am I supposed to say? Check it out if you don't know it yet. One of the best albums for really, really good mood, I think. Like, imagine getting in your car, the sun is shining, or like sundowning or something, and you listen to this album like full blast on, window down. It's a blast. Trust me, guys. It's an absolute banger. Next up, we talk about another album that I did not expect to like that much. Especially because it grew on me like crazy. I listened to it on stream, and on stream there were some songs that kind of blew me away. I liked them a lot, and I saved them immediately. And after listening to the album again, I was like, I think I have to save pretty much every song of this album. What did just happen? It's Isoxo with Kids Gone Mad. Holy crap. Holy crap. It definitely is inspired by Skrillex and people like that. You can't deny that. There is so many Skrillex lines that you can draw there, but with a fresh take, with a really fresh point of view in producing music, in my opinion. Really, really incredible drum design that's so sick. Like, the snares sound like you're hitting a pan with a fork or something. It's really, really disgusting, but in a corset of really beautiful sounds. Like, the whole album just sounds beautiful. The aesthetic is beautiful. It gives you a nostalgia, a weird, warm nostalgia, but with a fresh production. And not a lot I can say to this. Probably the first 10 out of 10 album we have here on this list. It feels kind of flawless, even though not every song hits me that much because of the sound and the vibe sometimes. It just gets a bit too happy for me sometimes. Next up, we're gonna talk about another underdog. Probably the most underrated artist on the list, next to Anima Drop. Another album I listened on stream. I'm repeating myself here, but that's most of the time how I discovered this stuff. It's Cursa with Nothing Good Will Come of This. And this album, I have to say, really, really, really inspired me. It feels like an album that was just put together like that, and it just, at first sight, it sounds like, here's a lot of songs, they stand for themselves, listen and just save what song you like. And that's how I did it at the first time. And there were quite a few songs I saved and I listen to frequently nowadays. It's more like deep, dark, grimy, evil dubstep, sometimes really experimental. And then I listened to the whole album again and was like, it feels like a story though. It feels like every song for themselves tells a story. And it I don't know, it works really, really good. And it somehow, and I don't understand why, really paints a picture of a world. And something happened in my brain that I just absolutely love this album, love the aesthetic of the album, love the sound, and love the maybe unintentional world building of this. You can hear that Cursa is in the scene for years and years and years now, and check out this album. It's the most underrated thing you will come across this year. And next up, I'm talking about the top two pretty much, the second spot now. I'm sorry for this. I say that right away. I'm sorry for this, but people that follow me know that I am always, every year, I'm my top monthly artist. And that sounds big-headed like crazy, but I just really like the music I release. I like the music I put out, and that's why I want to give you the music, because I like it a lot. I like what I'm creating, and of course, after it's released, I also love to listen to it. That's not because I'm big-headed or anything, it's only because I only want to put out music that I can enjoy, that I can love, that I can give you. So it's a really, really personal thing for the number 2 spot, I just have to do it because I'm crazy biased. I'm just crazy biased because I know how much work went into this. I know how much love went into this, how much meaning is in this. If you didn't see it, check out the video about my album Arrival. And just because I don't want to eat up 2 spots here, I will just put Arrival and Pandorum on the number 2 spot. 2 albums I released this year. One has 14 songs, the other one has 7 songs. And I don't want to talk too long about this. It's just 2 albums that I released back to back that mean a lot to me, that mean a big transition to me. And of course, I love them. I created them. I really, really am happy with the product. And I love the whole thing that they tell. And I love the meaning behind it. It's attached to me. And it's just a lot of emotional connection to those things. That's why they are on this spot. If you don't like that, just ignore that. Take the list as it is without my stuff on it. That's completely fine. I'm open for that. And I understand that this might feel weird, but I had to do this because, as I said, just on an emotional level, they mean a lot to me. And I'm through a long journey with those 2 albums. And that's why I think they deserve a spot here, even though if some people might not like it or even might not like the albums, which is completely fine to me. And now we come to the number 1. So this album is an album... Period. Bye. This is an album I again listened and discovered to on stream. And it was an album that actually made me shed a tear at the end. This album, production quality wise, storytelling wise, songwriting wise, album writing wise, because it's pretty much just one big song, puts everything on this list into the dust, including my stuff, including Skrillex. I don't care what anybody says. It's Cohen Sound with Led by Ancient Light. Wow. What should I say? Again, incredibly underrated. Incredibly underrated from Cohen Sound themselves, and Cohen Sound are incredibly underrated. But this album, with a huge gap to the other albums, I have to say it like that, is the number 1 spot here. This album is just from start to end one big story. It feels cohesive. You can listen to it in one run without it getting boring. Nothing stands out in a bad way. Everything is just really, really cohesive and sounds beautiful. It's beautifully crafted. Big ups Cohen Sound. I can't say a lot of this. Listen to the album, put it on headphones, close your eyes and listen to the whole thing and you will be in another world. Trust me, this is just peak electronic music, peak bass music, and this is what more music should sound like. This is music. This is actual music to digest. Like it I don't know, it tickles something in my brain that no other album on this list was able to do. And yeah, thank you Cohen Sound for the inspiration, and thank you for showing me that this is possible with fucking bass music. It's insane. It's insane. And that's pretty much the list. Thank you for being here. Thank you for checking out this video. I really enjoyed doing it and doing it my way. It's better than just scripted. I just love to talk. And if you want to support me, check the links in the description below. There is my Patreon that you can support. It would mean the world because that makes the YouTube thing here possible. And you can get feedback on your music. It's one thing, you know? There are my socials that you can follow. It would mean the world. And if you want to come to my shows, come to one of my shows. Thank you so much for being here. See you in the next video. Peace.